Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for this week's video we are in a bit of a different setup. I am filming at my dad's. I haven't actually sat down and filmed a proper main channel like sit down video at my dad's before, but here we are. I am filming my first ever video and this will be a new background that you guys are going to have to get used to seeing a bit more on my channel. Apologies if the lighting isn't that good and the background isn't fully sorted. I haven't really managed to figure everything out yet, but I needed to get a video up for you guys because I literally haven't uploaded in so long. So on my channel I don't think I've really spoken about my faith and my religion, being a Christian and all that jazz. I literally can't go anywhere without making a musical reference. And I haven't really filmed a video that's been like dedicated to my faith or talking about my faith, and I think I've spoken about it before but I've never really like spoken about it. So this week I thought I would kind of start off my faith related video series, and I thought I would talk about the truth about being a teenage Christian girl or just teenage Christian in general in this society, day and age, the struggles. But I thought this would be a great video for you guys who share the same faith as me or like have a faith, or if you don't have a faith it kind of puts it into perspective what it's like for people that do have a faith, if that makes sense. So I actually grew up in a Christian household. I've never really spoken about my testimony on my channel before, but I might do that one day if that's something that you guys would want to see. So I grew up in a Christian household and I have always been going to church with my parents. I've always kind of believed in God and had that instilled in me that like God is real, Jesus is the Son of God and all of that stuff, and that the Bible is true, and I've kind of been raised on the premises of that. So all the values, all the morals that have been instilled in me have been faith-based, if that makes sense. I don't know if that does, but... So one of the things that has definitely been the hardest for me in terms of being Christian as a teenager is bullying and kind of the hate that you get for what you believe in. I've always been quite open about my faith, and if you're friends with me then you'll know that I'm quite open and I do talk about it a lot, and if people ask me about it I will say something and I will be like, yeah, this is what I believe in and stuff like that. And it's very hard, like I personally found it really hard growing up in secondary school, mainly the first few years of secondary school, because not everybody kind of gets it, not everybody kind of understands. And me in my secondary school I was like one of like 3 people maybe that believed in God, if that. I don't know if there were any other people, but I can only really like think of like a few people. I was one of the people that was a bit more outspoken about it and did really like talk to people about what I believed in, because I think like evangelism and stuff, you know, what up? And you know, I did experience some bullying from people. I wouldn't necessarily call it bullying, but like I did experience some negativity towards what I believed in. I was called like a Bible basher and stuff, and I think that's one of the difficult things about being a teenager, or just being somebody who is quite outspoken about your faith and is open for conversation about it, because it's sort of a subject that not a lot of people want to talk about sometimes, and a lot of people find that kind of intimidating and scary. But that's just something that I struggled with. But if you guys are struggling with that, then something that's so important is to really get embedded in your church and get embedded in your youth ministry. Find some friends that support you, that love you and care for you despite what you believe, whether they believe the same thing or they don't. Like, that is just so important. Another thing that I found really difficult being a Christian teenager is questions. I think as a teenager you're at the age where like you have more questions about faith. You have more things that like you want to know about Jesus and why does this happen, and like why do bad things happen in the world. And I think like you want to know why that is because you're at an age where you can kind of handle it emotionally, I guess. But I think that's something that I find really difficult. Like sometimes I get some really difficult questions, and even like people ask me questions like, why do bad things happen? Like, if God loves everybody, why does this happen, and why did this happen, and why did... And it is really difficult thing to talk about and to like answer. So if you are someone who does have like friends who believe in faith or something, like don't be afraid to ask questions, but just know that sometimes those questions can be really difficult, especially when we are on a journey and we're trying to figure stuff out for ourselves. So sometimes it can be hard to answer some questions. Okay, now it gets onto the more deeper stuff. So this is where like we actually spill the tea. So I'm just gonna take a bit of water. It's not tea because I don't really like tea. Okay, so one of the things that I find so difficult about being a Christian teenager is insecurities, and I'm going to say that there are some videos that I do want to film based on some of these topics. Like I want to film some videos about like confidence and insecurities on my channel, more kind of help and guidance and like discussion kind of videos. If that's something you want to see, then make sure that you do let me know. But one of the things I do find difficult about being a Christian teenager is insecurities, and I think it's such a difficult subject to talk about, and I'd love to talk about it more on my channel and talk about kind of what I struggle with, because I think it's important for anybody to remember, like no matter how old you are, no matter if you're like a boy or a girl, whether you're supposed to have insecurities or not, like you get insecurities. Everybody is insecure in some way, and if you're comparing yourself to somebody online, like their life isn't perfect, they are not perfect, they do not think they're perfect. But that's like something for like another video, like I'm gonna have to do a video on that. But I think it is difficult when you are struggling with insecurities as a teenager that is a Christian, purely because I feel like as a Christian, you're not like, I don't know how to say it, but I feel like you're not like supposed to have insecurities, if that makes sense, which is probably not true, but that's kind of how I feel with it. Like you're not supposed to be insecure because you're made in the eyes of God. Like you don't need to be insecure, like you don't need to struggle with your identity or like struggle with the way you look or hate the way you look or anything, because you're made in the eyes of God. Like in the Bible it says like we're like precious like rubies and stuff. Like there are so many amazing Bible verses that are about identity, and if you are struggling with identity, then I'd really encourage you to like really get embedded in those Bible verses. But I think it's okay to acknowledge that us as Christians, whether you're a female or a male, whether you're a boy or a girl, like you struggle with identity, you struggle with insecurities and self-esteem, and that's okay. And I think it's okay to talk about it and not have it so much as a taboo subject. Speaking of taboo subjects, a little bit of an interlude. Another thing that is very difficult about being a Christian teenager is mental health, and I want to talk about mental health more on my channel because it's something that I do struggle with daily, and it's something that I struggle with to a degree that others may struggle with or others may not struggle with. Like everybody's experiences of mental health are different. I think it's hard being a teenager that believes in God and also has mental health, because it's almost like a contradictive thing. It's almost like, you know, the Bible says to like cast all your anxieties on him for he cares for you, which is so true and like so important to remember. Like I remember focusing on that when I did my GCSEs, and it was honestly really helpful. Like I was really calm. But then on the other hand, it's like, okay, the Bible can say that, but I feel this and I feel that, and I find this difficult and this isn't okay. And it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to say that you are struggling and you're not okay. Like it's okay not to be okay. Like it sounds so cringe and cliche, but it is true. And I do think it's something that needs to be spoken a bit more about in church, and not something that is so much like brushed under the carpet. Another thing that is a struggle of being a Christian teenager is dating. I am 17, I am a teenager. I'm about to do my A-levels and head off to uni and start like this amazing new adventure in my life, and I have not had a boyfriend. I haven't had my first boyfriend, I haven't even like had my first kiss or anything, and I can't believe I'm saying that on the internet, but it's okay to kind of acknowledge that and just say that, because you know, it's out in the air now. But I haven't, and that's okay, like it's so okay. And I think personally, from experience, dating as a Christian is so difficult in this generation, because not necessarily just about like morals and principles, but like people are just so different. I've been in that like talking stage with a couple people in the past before. Hi if you're watching this. But it never really progressed into a relationship, and one of the main things of that was because of what I believe in and the principles I do stand in, and that is that I'm saving myself for marriage, which may be a shock to a lot of people, but it's my faith, it's what I believe in, it's how I want to live my life. I've always kind of been raised with the principle for that. I mean, I have siblings that don't believe in Jesus or anything. Like I have a lot of friends that don't believe in Jesus, and like it's not like I'm like sheltered or anything, and it's not like it's like a cult where like I'm forced to believe that or whatever. Basically, I do not want to sleep with anyone until I get married, which I think is, I mean, if you have sex now, if you have sex in 2 years, if you've had sex 2 years ago, like that's totally fine. But you know, that is my principle, that's what I stand on, and that's what I want to do, and I think that's what people find so difficult when like dating and talking to me, which is fair enough because it's unfair to expect someone to do that if it's not what they want to do. So dating is so difficult, and I think you come into contact with like so many guys that don't have the same beliefs as you, but you know, you think, oh, they're really fit, like I'll give it a go. Just no, like girl, just no. And boys as well, like I'm not coming from like a male perspective, but temptation and stuff, like is it really worth it? Like if that's your principle and if that's what you stand on, like is it really worth it for you to date that person or talk to that person if you think that it's going to end in a way and like head in a direction that is not what you're prepared to do? Like, and you should never feel pressured to do anything, and if you're feeling pressured to do something or kind of go against like what is important to you, then please don't feel the pressure. Talk about it, put it out in the open. If it means ending a relationship with that person, are you going to be missing out on much? Because you'll be better off in the long run, I guess. I feel like I'm going to get so much hate on this video and I really don't want it, so please, this is a nice community, this is a safe community, let's not hate the Christian girl over. But that's pretty much all I have on the topic of the struggles of being a teenage Christian. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. If you are new to my channel and you maybe believe in faith, maybe you don't, come join the family. I upload a bunch of different videos that are faith related and not faith related, and I can't wait to like do more content in the future and just do some things that I love and make videos that I love. Hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button to get notified every time I upload, because then you guys can be one of the first people to see my new videos. Also go follow me on all my social media. I'll pop them all down below and they'll be on the screen somewhere. And as always, leave a comment letting me know any videos that you guys want to see from me in the future. So at the end of every like faith related video or like non-faith related video that I kind of talk about subjects and I sit down with you guys, I wanted to share like a Bible verse because I think that'd be pretty cool. So this is my Bible. Let me find a verse. Okay, so this Bible verse comes from Isaiah 41 and it is verse 10, and it says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.